Good evening, viewers, and welcome to Calypso Showcase. Our special guest tonight, when he appears on stage, they say his clothes is funny, his song is funny, in fact, his sobriquet is funny. Donric Willianson, welcome to Calypso Showcase. Well, first of all, what part of Trinidad did you grow up? Where were you, where did you hang out in your early youth?
Morvan, Cipriani Street, Morvan. I was actually born in Port of Spain, but I left there as a baby. I grew up in Morvan.
And did that environment have anything to do with the type of Calypsonian that you are today?
Well, a bit, yes. Although, I mean, what I do comes natural, but, I grew up in Morvan as a place with a lot of humor, at least the area I live in, a lot of humor, a lot of young men, grow in that area, and we used to have fun.
Well, the name Funny, it's obvious why that's sobriquet, but when did you actually decide to use that as a title for your Calypso career?
When I decided I'm going to start to sing, actually, some people started calling me funny because my bigger brother, apparently they used to call him funny. When they see me, they used to call me funny. And, that name stick on me. When I decided to sing Calypso, I couldn't find another name, so I used funny. All my friends was calling me that.
Something we have talked about in this program before, a lot of Calypsonians shy away from humorous type Calypsos. Why do you think that is so?
Well, it's hard to make. Humorous Calypso is not easy. And then it must come natural, Humor is something comes natural, If anybody can do humor. Mm-hmm. It's something that comes out of you, your lifestyle, the way you think. That's how humor.
So it's more than just lyrics then?
Yeah, it's more than that. It's got to come from, the person.
In terms of the recognition that humor as a category of Calypso, do you have any recommendations as far as that is concerned? What can be done?
Humor as a category? I don't know. Maybe that is something we're trying, if you're speaking about like in the competitions and so. Yeah, well, humor, like any other things, it could make a category, yes.
Because it seems never to really hold its own against the political and social commentary and some of the heavier topics. And maybe there's a need for some sort of encouragement for those people who hold on to that humorous category.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, well, it's worth a try. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of talk about it, putting in the competition categories, and I think it's something somebody should start, trying to work on and try it and see how it works.
All right, well, we're going to take a look at the Calypso life of Donric Willianson tonight. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll go to his home. It's a strange thing that many Calypsonians start their career at the CDC tent, and you are no exception. Way back in 1966, tell us how you came to audition and become part of that Calypso tent.
Yeah, well, a friend had introduced me to King Solomon sometime because of a schoolmate of mine who sing. He used to do a lot of pops and things, and I met King Solomon after that one day in Port of Spain, and he told me about the Calypso Association. He introduced me there, and I joined, and around Carnival time when they had the audition, I went on audition, and I got selected to sing in the tent.
Well, it's fascinating that your first Calypso is a tune which is one of your trademark songs, and which was not, by any stretch of imagination, a funny Calypso, Sweet Sweet Trinidad. Tell us about that composition.
Yeah, well, what happened is too that that song, I changed some of the lyrics when I recorded it. I sang that in '66 and recorded it. It wasn't recorded until '75. Well, I just decided to make a song about Trinidad. As a matter of fact, that song was made together with a couple dozen songs that I had before, a long time. Foreigners always asking me why in Trinidad people so happy, what to do. Man, I had to tell them the truth. I say a man could sleep until 10 o'clock, get up and still ain't late for walk away you hurry for. He getting transport in front the door. And this poke they going whole day and on not pay if they like, they could call a big strike. So I tell them, sweet, sweet Trinidad, boss, I love this country bad. I don't want to leave at all. Ever since a small look a ball in sweet, sweet Trinidad, brother was a feeling glad. When I dead, please bury me in the center of the city. Yes? I was doing that in a song they call Vicey, which was a suggestive song. Both of them are on record.
Now tell me, I know that we started in 66, but where did Calypso really begin for you?
On the block. I used to, I had a guitar. I took 2 lessons, and I learned to play a little bit, and I used to sing a lot on the block by me. And a guy who used to live in the area introduced me to a group they call Entertainers Association, which I joined, and they used to do little shows about the country. So I was singing a little before I came on the Calypso scene in the 10s. I entered a competition in 1965 when my friends told me they saw this thing advertised in the papers. I went and I was one of the finalists. I know I won the competition, although I didn't come in the first 3. As a matter of fact, I was told so after, and the whole thing was changed. There had a lot of confusion in it. I was doing a song they called Missing Ball and Just Imagine. Just imagine, friend, imagine that man with a unscrewy hair, he put on the man. Your hand damaged, you ain't off the screen. Just screw up your hand and put it on the heel. You know them little boys.
What was the first Calypso you ever composed in your life?
A song called A Dozen Men on the Ground, which was a gunslinger tune.
You can remember any part of it?
Yeah, it was something like this. I just leave me home peacefully and going to work. I don't look for noise. With nobody I do make joke. But they just watch you just like that and start to beat you up. And if you ain't drop cold dead, friends they wouldn't stop. But I ain't want no guns. I ain't want no knife. I don't want no cutlass, but when I want their life, I walk in with hand grenades, dynamite or even bomb. I show when I pull the pin, a dozen men on the ground.
Amazing.
Thinking a dozen one time.
Well, who are some of the Calypsonians that you looked up to in the early stages of your career?
Oh, well, of course, fellas like Melody, of course, Kitchener Sparrow, Spoiler was one. Christo, a lot of these guys. I used to listen to. Of course, I didn't know a lot of these guys. Like Spoiler is one guy. I never knew him. I've never even seen him sing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hear fellas like Lion and Viper and all these, these fellas singing, and I always had an interest, in the Calypso. See, this is the land of Calypso. I always love Calypso.
But people always compare you to the mighty Spoiler. Did you set out to sing humorous calypsos from the start of your career?
No, not really. No. Although I was always, I used to humor the guys on the block. Most of my early songs were humor, and as you saw, the first song wasn't a humor song.
Correct.
I like humor. I mean, humor is my thing. I grew up in a neighborhood, with a lot of humor.
Well, when we continue with your career and we look at 1969, as early as that, a tune like Farmer Brown, which has again become one of your trademarks, one of your classics. Tell us what prompted you to come up with a calypso like Farmer Brown.
Okay. Well, I noticed through the years before, always hears guys singing songs, and when they reach to that point, you know, they always say ayo or yipa. They wouldn't say the word. And I always tell myself one of these days I'll be able to make a guy so that I could bring that out. I was going through a student companion once, as I saw where the male is called the Jack and the female is Jenny, and I said, well, you know, that was the message, and I decided to make it. But Farmer Brown, I started to make Farmer Brown about a whole family, you know, the typical family of son, daughter, mother and father. And it was taking too much time to introduce the whole family. And I just say, you know, away with the rest of them, just the farmer alone, and I decided to deal with just Farmer Brown, yeah.
Well, it turned out to be one of the biggest hits of 1969, and subsequently, I think anytime you go on a stage, people want to hear that calypso.
Yes, Farmer Brown was one. It was the first recording I did, and it was very popular.
Farmer Brown tied the jackass on a rotten tree. Then he jumped on the bike and he gone down the road in the rum shop to spree. The jackass prance up and get away, and it gone cross by neighbor John. The neighbor gone to the farmer in the shop and start to get on. He tell him, that jackass of yours, Farmer Brown, you better come and see, because it pulled down the tree, bust away the chain and it inside me property. You are sure going to lose it, so you better do something fast, because if it should damage my property, so help me, I'll kill your ass, I tell you.
The success that you gained in 1969 sort of set you up for 1970. People were looking at Funny and saying, what is this guy going to come with in 1970? And not many people remember how successful 1970 was for you. In fact, my first real anytime I think of you, I remember you all in white with this oversized toothbrush in the Grand Savannah singing Check It Up or Check Up or something like that.
Check Up.
Right. Tell us a little bit about that composition in the year 1970.
Yeah, well, 1970 was one of, I think, if not the best, one of the best years I had, because I was doing two songs which used to get 4 and 5 encores, both songs. Check Up and Suck It to Me. And I remember that year getting hoarse. And I couldn't sing for about 4 nights, and I used to go on the stage and dance. And they used to anchor the dance because people just wanted to see me there. Well, Check Up was is about the teeth. Well, I sing it a lot now. I resurrect it and bring it back now. Suck It to Me I haven't done for a long time. And I got into the finals.
You eat and you drink and all life is sweet, but when last did you check up on your teeth? You eat up, you drink up, you say life sweet, but why don't you make a check on your teeth? Your teeth is a thing must clean every day. If you don't, your teeth will sure to decay. Just look at my teeth, so clean and white too. So why don't you try to do as I do? I get up in the morning, I brush. After I had my lunch, I brush. If I eat between meals, I brush. After my dinner time, I brush. And if I happen to just drink some whiskey or gin, before I go to sleep, I go and brush again. Yeah.
You know, that song, our little history, a guy who used to work in the Antigua airport, he said he came down one night and he heard me singing, and once he had a night off again and he took a flight and come down just to hear that song, and I was in Antigua and he carried me home to sing it for his children. He says, educational, check up. Yeah.
Well, I always remember you being one of the high points of the cast in the 70s. And let's talk about some of the material that you offered us in the 70s.
Okay, we had, well, in 70, Check Up and Suck It to Me. I had songs like Bam.
Bamsi.
Yeah, Bam was done in the 70s, yes.
That was 75,
right,
around there, right?
Yeah.
And there was another tune I remember you had on
Soul
an
Chick.
album, Soul Chick.
Soul Chick was 7-inch, on a 7-inch. Well, Soul Chick, so that was my biggest hit. That was 73.
What do you think accounted for that selling so much?
Well, I know people just like it, you know.
Had a nice catchphrase.
Yes, what happened is I have noticed that everybody was using the slang. So everybody was using the slang. The smallest child to the oldest person.
Yes, my neighbor way Molly asked me to build a cook for she. She couldn't stay, she was busy, so she leave she daughter home with me. But she daughter chasing me, the girl up under me the whole day. And anything I do, you see, she only asking me how you could walk so, how you could knock so, how you could groove, how you could move, how you could wail, how you could nail, how you could do.
I was in Madison Square Garden that year to sing. I went up there and a guy called me and asked me how much money I made from it. And while I was, you know, thinking of what to tell him, he said, I understand that song sells over 500,000. And, you know, I didn't take him serious. I thought he was exaggerating. I mean, it's not until some years after I realized that the song really did something, some years after, because a lot of people told me a lot of things about the song. One journalist told me it sell like hops bread in Europe. I know for a fact it crossed the 100,000 soul check. I know that. I even sang it in the prisons. And surprisingly, all the prisoners, when I started singing, they just catch on to the chorus and started singing it. Prison in New York. Yeah.
What about the style of dress that you use on the stage? How much thought do you put into that?
Well, lately now, well, my wife have a lot to do with the way I dress. She usually buy the materials and, well, design a lot of it too.
I remember once you performed a long tie, touching all the way to the ground.
That is my own thing. I got that in a shop in New York, a tie, and I had a big glasses, shades too, a handkerchief. Yeah, well, that is my own thing. Well, that has nothing to do with what I sing. And when I do these things, it's just I'm just clunging. It has nothing to do with what I'm singing.
Part of your presentation.
And just being funny.
Let's talk about some of the tunes that have stood out over the years as trademark tunes. A tune like, say, Skruku Cheek. And I mean, you know, just the title of that song, what would give you the idea? What inspiration did you get to come up with a name like Skruku Cheek?
Well, I had to find a name a name for the song, and I mean, imagine you're in an old wooden motel and you're here, you know, I mean, it's creaking when people walk, it's creaking, and you turn on the bed, it's making noise. I slept on bed like that already, with the spring sticking here and all of that. And if you're here in a bed here and making a noise on one day and one day, all around you making noise, I mean, I had to find a name for the noise, you know. I had to find somewhere how the noise going, so it was Skruku Cheek.
I had to spend a night in a old wooden motel. Nothing there was right, by the smell alone you could tell. On my right side it have a couple, on my left side another couple. The mattress lumpy, the floorboards creaking. To talk about the old bed spring, they go Skruku Cheek. On my right side, Skruku Cheek. On the left side, Skruku Cheek. All around me, Skruku Cheek. And that lumpy mattress nearly drive me mad. And it's Skruku Cheek. Whole night I had it hard.
You are one of what we call the uncrowned kings, and I think truly, if there is an uncrowned king, you are one, in that you've always pleased the people, but you've never really received that regal stature. In performing in the NJAC Uncrowned Kings, you chose a certain number of tunes, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you feel, because we have a special place for that in terms of the Independence, the 25th. But one of the other tunes that you sang, beside Farmer Brown, which was one of the tunes, you sang a tune called A soul man.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about a soul man and the double entendre that you tried to get out of that.
Yeah, I did that in 81. Well, social commentary. Well, I was watching the situation in the country, and I think around that time is when things started to, change in the country a lot, and reading in the papers and seeing little stories in the papers and watching what's going on around. The idea came to me about the soul men, these people only souling, and that's how the idea came.
Them politicians in this country only good for cocktail party instead of they see about the country. They digging soul with some young lady, always with a glass, drinking whiskey mouthful, like they always from the wine and dancing. And believe me, digging soul more than anybody. Who they put in charge of we culture? Ah, soul man. Who in charge of agriculture? Ah, soul man. Who's supposed to see about them highways? Ah, soul man. Who's supposed to fix up the byways? Ah, soul man. Yeah.
One of the other tunes you sang at that Uncrowned King show was a tune called Hypocritical World, and this was so unfunny. Like, tell us about that.
Oh, hypocrite. Well, as a social commentary, yes. Well, that's the kind of world we're living in, hypocritical world. And I just see it fit to make a song. That was for the Unconquering, because we had to do a new song. And well, I have a lot of serious ideas, in my mind. And when that competition came up and I realized I had to do a new song, I just decided to work on that one, hypocritically. Well, that song is just about the hypocrites, in the world.
In this corrupt world, everybody wants control, and those who's at the top, it's they who have the place so corrupt. Others say they care because they want to get up there, and whenever they get through, the corruption just continue. Hypocrites in the government, hypocrites in the House of Parliament, hypocrites, them politicians, hypocrites, yes, fooling the nation, hypocrites, 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 hypocrites. Living in a hypocritical world. Yes?
There was a NJAC sponsored show. I think it was a night of fun and laughter. And it's the first time I ever heard you sing a song composed by someone else. A song called Sponsorship, written by Dacron. What prompted that?
Well, they asked me to do that. They gave me a tape to learn the song. And I did it, I think most of the singers were singing somebody else's song. Yeah, and they wanted me to do that one, and I did it.
Last week when I met Lord Funny, my friends, well, is he who tell me that the university recommends sponsors for we. I say, Funny, that's a good thing. No longer will we be scrunting. He say, happiness at hand, suitable sponsors for every Calypsonian. And then he tell me, Fernandez go be sponsor in Terra, Angostura go take your Pretender, the Zoo gonna sponsor the Brigo, they want Burroughs to sponsor Valentino, Quattro Center and Sagoms done offer sponsorship for Lord Blakey and the Prowler, the Mighty Shadow, He go be them all. He go be sponsored by Decent Dance Hospital. Tell you?
Let's go to 1987 and the 25th anniversary of our independence, when I would say it was another high point in your career, when you made a big impact on the public with this tune, How You Feel. Let's talk about How You Feel.
Yeah, well, this competition was coming up. I heard about it and I thought about the idea hit me, you know, How You Feel. You know, they had you know, everybody had to sing the, what do you call it?
The independence.
A theme. Yes, they had a theme that they had to do. And I thought about, you know, how you feel, because how you feel is something always in your mind, you know, about independence. So it wasn't, I didn't have to look hard to find out how I feel. And, but the funny thing about it is just that word, how you feel, it gives me a lot of trouble to find that word. I know what I wanted to do, but the word, how you feel, it took me, and as a matter of fact, the song started from the second verse. I never made the first verse. Because the way I wanted to introduce the song, I was getting a lot of trouble in introducing the song. I decided, look, let me go to the second verse and then come back. And I was getting so much trouble to introduce the song that the song ended up starting there in the second verse.
Trinidadians and Tobagonians, this land belongs to every man. And since we got independency, it means hard work for you and me. Independence means unity. It means you gotta fight. It means we need cooperation. Fight with all your might. It means if you have to work your fingers to the bone. It means that you're on your own. 25 years after, how you feel? You feel you put your shoulders to the wheel. You feel you perspire and achieve. You feel you clean up the mess. You feel you could stand up proud and say, you feel that you did your best. You feel that we just keep moving on. Go back on we heel. 25 years after, how you feel? Yes? Tell you?
It went well.
Very well indeed. In fact, you won the prize for the best composed Calypso on independence. So it must have been a disappointment that you didn't win the overall competition.
Well,
the second tune, Them Confounded Children. What happened, do you think?
well, they probably didn't like humor. Well, yes, well, I think, you know, they was expecting something else. You know, I decided to do Confounded Children, and a lot of people liked it. You know, a lot of people call me after and they like the song, particularly the women. Yeah, they like Confounded Children. They say they like the song, Confounded Children. I just choose to do that because I wanted to do something more humorous, you know, on the different side.
Them confounded children living next to me. Well, they have me whole life in well misery. It's about 15 of them, both girls and boys. They would rum, they would swear, they would jump, they would play man his whole night, and they look I can't get away noise. Mommy, Joe take me pillow. Mommy, Johnny mash me too. Mommy, even in my place. Mommy, Fred making monkey face. Mommy, Patrick pity bed. Mommy, burn coffee in my head. Mommy, I want some water to drink. Mommy, Daphne mouth smelling stink. Yes. I'll tell you.
If I had to select a tune that probably had the most depth in it other than How You Feel, it would be Time Flies. And, you know, it can even recite like poetry, and I would like you to go through the chorus of that for me.
Oh, yeah. The day before yesterday was yesterday, yesterday. Yesterday was today, yesterday. Today was tomorrow, yesterday. Tomorrow, today gonna be yesterday. Day after tomorrow, tomorrow gonna be yesterday.
While walking in the city, I met an old girlfriend. We grew up from small. She was surprised to see how much that I got. And so handsome and tall. She said it doesn't seem like long. We were so very young. You mean so much time went by. Like was just the other day. We used to run and play. Oh, how time could really fly. So I show her day before yesterday. Was yesterday, yesterday. Yesterday was today. Yesterday. Today was tomorrow, yesterday. Tomorrow, today will be yesterday. Day after tomorrow, tomorrow will be yesterday.
Another good song, just a couple of years ago that you wrote, certain things remind me of certain things.
Yeah. I think I got that idea from I think Rio prompted that idea to me. I think most time when a person give me an idea, sometimes it take me 2 or 3 years before I actually work on it. Yeah. But you know, when it really hit me and I decided to do it, yeah, certain things remind me of certain things. And that's how it come about. I just, you know, simple. Certain things remind me of certain things and I just work on it.
People always asking me why I sing certain things. What does be going through your head? Where you does be thinking? Boy, them calypsos is really something. How you think about them things to sing? All I could say, friends, don't dig nothing. You see, certain things does remind me of certain things. The Tesoro scandal and John O'Halloran does remind me of Eric Williams. When I remember Eric dead and gone forever, but then I don't remember is he was PNM. The other day, I see a white person in the lap of a blonde lady, and I remember my partner Georgie. Certain things remind me of certain things. That is why I always sing certain things. Yes.
Sometimes do you find yourself getting a mental block, nothing coming?
Yes, yes, it happens. That happens, and most times my ideas either come early, very late, in between there, like the middle of the year. I'm just struggling. Most times.
Did that cause you to sing a calypso called "What to Sing"?
Right. Yeah, but that came down very well. That is what happened. You know, I didn't know what to sing, and that is how the idea came.
What to sing when you don't know what to sing? It's really nerve-wracking. Look at you, how you sit down listening to hear how I come in. All my fans them asking me what I come in with. Everybody want to hear a little piece of me hit, but I ain't have nothing to sing, and you know I wouldn't lie. So every night I come in back to tell you why. I wanted was to sing about the ministry I have. How it is a failure, Wassa is a waste, T&Tech is who them is disaster area. Or sing over our old song like Sparrow sing over Farmer Brown, and the jackass I'm done. But his jockey tell me sing about the jackass alone. He say sing about Robinson. Yes, I tell you.
What stands out in your career?
Well, a lot of things. The independence competition, the song. After that competition, my phone rang for 2 days. Yeah, 2 days straight, and my mother couldn't get me. So every time she ring, the phone was busy. People ring all day. I remember even from New York. 4 o'clock in the morning, when I stepped in this house, and that's when the phone was ringing, and I couldn't sleep.
25 years have gone, how you feel? You feel we have things covered and well sealed. You feel that them leaders paved the way. You feel that we produce champs. You feel well honesty was a must, or you feel was a set of scams. You feel things looking shaky to fall, or we standing solid like steel. 25 years are gone, how you feel?
Well, we're going to present a special video we have by Funny, a calypso called the Mighty Dum-Dum. And I think this will demonstrate how you can work humor depending on the type of person you are. The Funny singing the Mighty Dum-Dum.
They call the Mighty Dum-Dum was singing in a Calypso tent for butler rum. Please pack up with people, sit down, they listening. Dum-Dum walk on the stage, and he started to sing, and we tell them. We got we big oil field just in south. We have all kind of things to talk about, no regret. You just have to get up and get. And anytime things a little bad, man, you have a garden in your backyard, and no doubt the food almost in your mouth. We got woman, color, class, or creed. Any kind of a woman that you need, you could bet. The sweetest woman you could get. Sweet, sweet Trinidad, us along this country, man. I don't want to leave at all. Ever since a small look of all in sweet Trinidad, run of us are feeling glad when a Debbie bury me in the center of the